Hi, hi. Welcome back to Tula Infotech DataPower training class. This is a video-based training. Yesterday we have seen about how to creating cryptographic certificates, which is we have created a self-signed certificates, and using that certificate we have created HTTPS connection, and we have encrypted the messages using the certificate, and we can decrypt the encrypted message using the same certificate. So we have seen the concept of symmetric key encryption and asymmetric key encryption and the cryptographic concepts. So basically the symmetric key is uh, both the signer, both encryption and decryption will be happening on the using the same certificate, which is shared across all the person. And asymmetric key encryption and decryption is basically private key value and pair. So the encryption will be happen on the shared certificate, and the decryption will be happen on the private key and the self and the shared certificate. So these two things has to be happen on the asymmetric key algorithm. So today we are going to see how to sign the certificate and how to verify the signed certificate on the SOAP based messages. So I am going to teach you about how to sign the messages using certificate and verify the messages using certificate. So to complete this concept and exercise, we need to have a two XML firewall, because the signing has to be happen on the one XML firewall and the verification has to be happen on another XML firewall. So why do we need a two XML firewall? The reason is, um, once you sign the message using the certificate, the signed messages will be valid for particular time period. It by default it will be valid for 5 seconds, but you can change the certificate expiration timing options, but it's not as advisable to more than 5 seconds to put it for expiration time. So in between any hackers to hack the message and they want to change anything, it's not a good option. That's why the 5 second normally by default provided. So within a 5 second, it's not possible to copy the signed certificate content and paste it to that SOAP UI or anywhere the SOAP client and calling the verify URL, which is going to verify the signed certificate. So that's why on the fly we are going to route it. Once we sign the certificate, on the fly we are going to pass it to the verify certificate XML. So that XML firewall will verify the certificate. So this is how the process is going to work. So now I am going to explain you how to create a firewall which is going to be used as sign a certificate. Okay. So let me create two firewalls now. Let me log into my box and I am going to XML firewall. I am going to create a new XML firewall which is going to used for signing the messages using certificates. So click next. I'll provide that name like sign message or sign certificate. Any name you want, you can give it. Give next. So by default, choose loopback. This is going to be dynamic backend because we are going to pass it to another backend service, which we can change it later. As of now, change it loopback. So by default, this port is available 2209. That's fine. So I am going to select this is the SSL connection. So I am going to see whether any available certificates are available to use this one. If you are not unable to find this one, that's fine. Let me take Madan profile, something called Madan profile. Let me take the available certificate one. I will try to, this is for SSL connection. I will try to create next, and I will going to commit it and done. So save config. Now go to XML firewall, which you have created for signed certificate. So change the request type as SOAP message because we are going to sign the SOAP message using the certificate, and open the firewall policy window. By default, the URL matching action is star, and forget about the result action as of now. So drag and drop the sign action, double click the sign action and make it as default. You are going to sign it WS security method and SOAP message. If you want to SOAP message, you are going to have a message like SOAP message with attachment, then select this. So based on your requirement, you can select the option. So I am going to leave it everything as a default. So here it's asking key and certificate. So I selected Madan. Let me check if there is any key for Madan. Yeah, there is a Madan profile key is there. The certificate I'm going to see, is there any certificate profile for Madan? Yes, I could see the Madan profile. So these two key and certificate I am going to use it for signing the messages. So give done. So first we will step by step we will debug the complete exercise. So first, as of now, the first part of this exercise, we have signed the messages, signed the SOAP message using certificate. Let us see if it work or not. So close this window and apply and save config. So 2209 is the port. It's the SSL enabled port. So I am going to SOAP window. I am going to pass some test SOAP message to the 2209 port. Um, so you can, since we are having URL match action 0, a star, we can put any value, but it could accept anything. So I am going to HTTPS. It's a DataPower IP address, and this is the port which is we have created the XML firewall, which is used to sign the certificate. And this is the URI matching. This is, we are not caring about this. So I am going to pass this message and verify it's going to be signed. Yes, it's signed now. So I will explain this how it's signed. So I told you the default is 5 seconds of the this certificate, signed certificate. So here it's a timestamp. Here the created timestamp is 12 and the expires as 17. So some cases if you copy, even it seems to be 5 minutes now, not a 5 seconds I think. So even though it could be a 5 minutes, if you copy this content and paste it left hand side, if you try to process it, it will not be work because some hatchmark value will be changed while you are doing this one. So so all the verification will be hatched on based on the hatchmark value, which should be happen on the fly. If you copy and hack the signed content, if you want to change it and you want to pass it, then it won't work. That is the security prevention. So that's why we are going to create a new firewall, and the fly we are going to validate this signed certificate. Because normally in the business scenario, the client will sign the certificate about it, and we are the providers. We need to verify the certificate. So here we want to act as a client as well as act as a provider. So this XML firewall is going to be a client which is going to be signed the certificate, and we are going to create another XML firewall which is going to be act as a provider, which is going to verify the signed certificate. That's what we are going to approach it here. If you see here, the signature method algorithms are there. So there is some digest value. This is the hash map value, and here the signature. This is the signature one, signature value, and this is the actual soap body we are passing it. So this is the soap body we are passing it. So above the SOAP body, we are having all signed information about the certificate. Okay. Now we have to create another XML firewall which is going to verify this certificate, verify this signed message. Okay. So for my convenient, I have opened two tabs in XML firewall. So I am creating another XML firewall which is called verify certificate. That's what I'm going to create it. So this is going to be a loopback proxy because this is whatever's going to come in the message inside, it's going to verify and get it, return it back, the result. That's what this is going to be a loopback proxy. Click next. This is the next available port. Leave it default. Normally the backend service assume that it should not be a HTTPS. If you want to make it, so for simplest scenario, I am going to make it as non-SSL for backend service, which is going to verify the certificate. So commit, done, save config. Okay. Now you have to do something. So go to the verify certificate. Instead of request is pass through, you have to select non-XML. You could select SOAP or XML. It doesn't matter. But why I am asking to select non-XML? If you see this SOAP envelope body of the signed messages, in some cases it does not fit the actual SOAP standard, which is acceptable by DataPower box. So if you are generating the exact SOAP message which is acceptable by DataPower box, then it's fine to select a SOAP or XML here. But for a safer side, I am going to test it as a simple exercise. I am going to test it with a non-XML. Then we will check it with a SOAP based thing and XML based request type. We will do it later. So as of now, select non-XML. Don't select pass-through. Pass-through means it's treated as the junk value. It don't accept the message. Okay. So once you select change the request type is pass-through non-XML request type. Here firewall policy. Go to firewall policy. The matching action, let it be star. That's fine. Now we have to verify it. So drag and drop verify button action. Double click the verify action. You can leave it as default. So here you are going to select validation credentials. So we have signed the certificate using the Madan credentials, Madan certificate and Madan credentials. So that credentials is not available here. So we have to add it here. So you can say Madan credentials and certificate. You can select Madan. Add. So done. Apply policy. Close this window. So make a note of this. This is 2211 port. Apply. Save config. Okay. Now what is the next step is in this sign firewall. Once the message is signed, we have to forward the messages to the dynamic backend, dynamic backend, the verify certificate XML firewall. So here select dynamic backend and open the firewall policy. So for routing the service going dynamic going to the dynamic backend, we need to write a XSLT. So there is in SSLT we have to set the variable, which is in DataPower. There is a variable concepts are there, like how in your JSP or any other PHP or any ASP programming or any Java, you have a variable scope like page scope, request scope, and session scope. Like this, there is a DataPower. There is a variable scope is there in context, in service, like this. So we will explain this in going forward the classes. So for routing this message to the another backend XML firewall or another backend service, you have to you have to set the variable with correct exact URL where we are going to route this route this service. So that is what we are going to do it now. So once that XSL is done, we have to mention that. So we have to mention that based on which variable we have assigned that value, we have to select that variable to route the service. That's what I am going to do it. If I am confused, now I am going to make you clear. So drag and drop transform action. Double click the transform action. I am going to select my folder. So here I am going to upload the XSL which I have created for local routing. So there is a local router.xsl. So upload this XSL. Once you upload it, give edit. So all this exercise material will be given to you through mail. If you are not getting these exercise codes, you can send the email to info@infotech.com. I will be responded to that mail by attaching the all source code which is we are using during the training sessions. So click edit and again edit button. So here by default don't this is the DataPower based XML namespace that has to be has to be here mandatory because we are using DataPower set variable option. So here I am selecting the variable context backend router. So here this is DataPower URI colon, the port is 2211, right? That's what I have. 2211 is the backend port. So 221 we are going to forward to 2211 the verify certificate service. Submit it. Okay. So click edit. Make sure it's changed. Yes, 2211 changed. Okay. Click done. Okay. Now, so here we have assigned the variable with the target URL value. So the next action is route action. So double click the routing. So here route using use variable to select the destination. So we have assigned the destination URL in the variable DataPower variable. That's why I am selecting this option. So here come drop down, select variable and click variable builder. You remember that it's a backend. because I remember that. That's why I know that I am typing is router. So use this variable to route it to the corresponding backend. So click done, apply policy. So it's going to be done. Okay. Apply policy, close window, apply, save config. So now see, let us see our luck whether it's going to be work or not. Pass it again. So it says no signature in message. Yes, which means why there is no signature in message. You have to verify what is value you are passing to the result action. So this is the signed message. What is the output of this signed message? So here this is the transformation. This is the transform action. So here see the output of the transform action is dp variable 1. Okay. In the result action, the dp var underscore 1 is going as going to the backend. That's why it's unable to resolve that properly. It's not signed one. So here is the signed message. So you can create an output called signed message. Click done. So now you see the output is signed message here. I move the cursor on that. You can see input is input and output is signed message. So here the input is signed message, the output is dp variable, but here you see input is dp variable 1, but that is not the input for the result action. We are going to send the signed message to the backend system. So double click this, select the signed message as the input for this action. That's why it's going to be sent to the backend. Click done, apply policy, close window, apply, save config again. Now let us try. Again it's saying the same thing. Let's see what's happened using the brob. Go here, turn on the brob, enable brob, close, fire the request. Yep, it's okay. It's a crazy. It took some time to reflect it. So okay, it's working fine, I think. It's showing red color. Let us see why it's showing in red color. Oh, it's because the previous action. Okay, close it, refresh it, flush it. So there is some issues happening with this one. Let us see what is the issue. Okay, so here signature in message, it's failed. No signature in message coming, but we have, if you click here, whatever have it we are getting here, that is the important. So it's showing. Okay, let us select this as a XML. Let us see how it's plus disable. Okay, apply and save config. Let us see whether it's accept the XML as a SOAP message. Let us try it. It seems to be accepting, but let us verify that. It should not be creating any error. That's what the primary intention. Now, yeah. So now there is no issue here. So this is the input signed message. So this is the after the verify action, the same message is coming back. So how can you ensure that certificate has been verified? Go to view log now and see. So it's only showing the management and management category. So there is no debug mode is enabled. So to ensure that, we have to enable the debug mode first. Let me disable the blob because it's working. So I want to make sure that I want to show you how it's working. So let me open a new DataPower box, new DataPower control panel. So here I am going to change the log level into debug level. So go to view logs. Sorry, not view logs. That's fine, I will tell you. If you go to view logs, it's having only management category and error category. So to change this, go to control panel, go to troubleshooting, change log level as debug, then set log level. But once your exercise is done, change debug to error level, because if you put it in a debug level, lot of logging has to be happen on data power box. Your data power box is going to down. Okay, so make sure that you change it after your exercise, this option. Okay, now let's see. I am going to fire it now. Okay, fired. I am going to view log now. You can either view log from here or any other window. So I am going to view log now. Now you can see the detail level of the view log. So here what its sign comes. So let me start from, yes, from the bottom you have to come. Sign from matching URL, verify certificate, and accept set, signature verified, verification succeed. So the validation succeed for Madan against Madan credentials. That is what we have set it up. This is how we have to ensure that. But while you can do it like corresponding code, DataPower is giving the corresponding code for this verification action. Like verification succeed means this is the code. So while you are creating the next going forward classes, we are going to create see how to create the log targets. So based on the log targets, or you can see, you can use this message ID and you can filter it, and based on that you can return the response back. So this is how we have to we have signed the certificate, signed the messages using certificate, and verified the signed message using the same certificate. So thank you for watching this video. So go ahead and do the same exercise in your free time. If you are facing any issues on this, please shoot an email to info@thrillainfotech.com. We are happy to help you. Thank you for your time today. Thanks.